Hey, it's me, and I'm back at it again tonight. I was just here doing this 22 hours ago or something like that. So a little tired tonight, but that's okay. So jumping into some more drum stuff because I got to have all the drums done so I can lay the other stuff down over it. And like I was talking about before, like I'll do a lot of copying and pasting of the basic sections of the different parts of the song, but then I'll go in like here. So this is like coming out of the. Uh, and I've even done a little bit on this. So this is the chorus. So bop, bop, like that's all. Here we go. And like right there, I want to have another symbol. So it's like da 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 2, 3, 4. Another symbol here. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then we'll back up to that. This is a little interlude between the chorus and the second verse. It's like even right there, like boom dop. I'm doing like a flam there, and I need to subdivide this to 164 so that I can get that close, kind of like almost right on top of each other. There we go. So now we're coming out of that little interlude between the first chorus and the second verse, which was yeah, that's hot. I like that. And what you'll notice there is, so this was the first verse, the drum beat on the first verse. And it doesn't even get a snare drum until we get to the pre-chorus. So now, when we're coming out of the interlude, verse 2, I haven't filled it all in yet, but I'm alternating between like the edge hit of the snare and then the rim shot of the snare, so it gives it some variation, so it's not boring. Sonically, it might not even consciously occur to the listener, but it gives it some movement, and it's kind of a funkier beat. I mean, it's still the same vibe, but it's got a little more complexity to it. So essentially, what it does for me as the player is it also kind of invites me to add a little bit more. I don't even know how to say it, but add a little more like expression maybe, or just variety to it, so that it just feels like the song, like we're going on a journey. We're kind of climbing a mountain, so to speak. And so, just little elements like alternating between the edge hit and the rim shot hit of the snare drum. And even like, instead of the kick drum being like, every, quarter note, 1, 2, 4 on the floor is what it's called. It's ding dot ding ding dot. So these little things. When I'm listening to it and playing along with it, it kind of almost opens up new, like kind of just new space, I guess, for me. Whether I'm doing a bass line or whether I'm doing different guitar layers or things like that. So the strumming of the rhythm guitar will pretty much stay consistent, but then we'll add layers on top of that to make it more interesting and to give you feel like it's going somewhere. And then lyrically, even because I haven't written the lyrics yet, I mean, I've got some lyrical ideas, but I definitely haven't written, I mean, even the first verse. The chorus is really the only thing where I think the words are pretty close to where they're going to be. So all that to say, the drums are where it starts, and it's stuff like this feels kind of boring sometimes. I mean, it doesn't to me, but it's not quite as exciting as like ripping out like a sweet guitar, like kind of like pad to go underneath things. But you got to have this first, and so this is where I struggle the most with getting it done quickly, because it does take a while. Because I mean, like you can see here, I mean, I'm literally plugging in every single hit of every single part of the drum kit. But it's worth it, and it's really gratifying when I listen back to like the whole mix. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I spent the extra time making that more interesting and more fun and more musical, because it just kind of like, I mean, it's just, it's just like the spices of the recipe. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna keep cruising on that, but this is kind of the mindset behind how I do drums. So I was playing through it, and and then when I got to the verse, which more is kind of like to leave room for the vocal, it's like, so it gets simplified, but it's really just hanging on D. I can't wait to see what the bass line ends up being for this, because like when something's that simple, there's a little room to play. But so when I got through the second half of the verse and then got to the pre-chorus, um, the pre-chorus was half as long as it needed to be, drum-wise, because I wanted to stretch that out a little bit. So essentially, it was like we'll come into the second half of the verse. And going into the pre-chorus. But like I wanted to go around again one time. So what I'll do, I'm gonna put my guitar down real quick. I can use both hands here. But essentially, what I want to do then is I got to bump all of this stuff after it back 4 more bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll bump it back a little more just to give myself some space. Yeah, there we go. And then what I'm going to do is move this over, because that's the intro into, or that's like the fill into the chorus, and I want to keep that the way it is. But then I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it here. So now I've got that whole first part again, but I don't want that fill that goes into the chorus. So I'm going to cut it down. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, I'll cut it down 2 measures. There's 1 measure, there's 2 measures. And I always just do the save just to, sometimes there would be some overlap. And then I'll just copy this front part that doesn't have that fill into the chorus, paste that here. So now I've got, hopefully, let me save that again. I'll probably add a cymbal in there. So pre-chorus will then be twice as long, which is good. And I might cut that down to half as long after the second, or into the second chorus. But so then coming out of the verse into the first pre-chorus, it'd be like. Yeah, so like, man, I'm loving that. That sounds so cool. And I love the way the second verse kind of takes it up a notch. Because again, that'll play around. I can play around with that with the bass line. I can play around with that with the guitar layers. If I do put keys on this, maybe even introduce the keys in a different way in that spot. But yeah, so again, we're still very much in the beginning stages of this, but at the same time, we've already got like a really solid like drum identity to this song, and that's going to inform all the other parts as I'm writing them. So even like lyric wise, because like if I can kind of like tie some of the lyrical rhythms into the drum beats and things, or the drum fills and things like that, man, that'd be sweet. So excited, man, that'd be sweet. Anyways, oh, if I was better at these videos, I'd like kind of zoom in on that. Man, that'd be sweet, and then that'd be a fun little like thing. But I'm not good at that, and I don't really want to try to be, because that takes too much time. So anyways, okay, yeah, we're rolling. This is fun. Sorry guys, I got to show you one more of this. I just came up with this fill, and it's really fun. It's got that closed roll that I used on the last song as well. Um, Man, I'm loving this bell brass or bell bronze or whatever it is, snare drum. So essentially, this is going into the second pre-chorus, which is going to be half the length of the first one, just so that it doesn't drag the song down. But essentially, we're coming into da, 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 so I got to figure out how I'm going to make the second pre-chorus that's just half the size, half the length. Not fall back into the first one because that's actually losing energy. So I'm going to come up with that here in a second. I think I figured out how to make the pre-chorus, the second pre-chorus. I mean, it's so much different than the first one. Like I had to pretty much redo the entire thing. I did keep some of the hi-hat work that I had already put in. But essentially, so coming out of the... I'll grab this. Coming out of the second verse, so we'll just do one measure kind of coming out of it. Let's see here. We'll do two measures just to give you some context. Yeah, so that is, I'll let you hear that on its own because it's just really beautiful. Like it's, and there's a little crescendo here with the those goes from like half velocity all the way up to full to kind of just build it into the chorus. So, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna play through this just on the guitar. In fact, maybe I'll record it, and maybe I'll throw some bass on. I don't know. It's already 11:15, so we'll see. But that's what feels fun. That's all we got so far. Cool, now we're going to lay down some bass, but I'll bring you in on that so you can hear how it all sounds together. And so the next step, and the last thing I'm going to do tonight, because it's getting kind of close to the witching hour, as they say, is start maybe casting some vision for the bass part. I know what the chords are. We're not capoed, so I don't have to figure any of that junk out. But I don't know what this is going to do yet, and I want to do a video of it so that I can listen to it later before I come back here. I don't know, hopefully tomorrow at some point, and that way I can kind of hear what works, what doesn't work, what feels too busy, what is a little bit too kind of vanilla. So yeah, I'm just gonna play around with a bunch of stuff. So fair warning, it's not all going to sound great. I'm just going to experiment and see what happens just kind of spontaneously. And yeah, doing this in front of, kind of in quotes, in front of you feels a little bit exposing, but I don't know. I love bass, so it's not going to suck, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see. No, that was from the thing. That's what I said on the last recording, apparently. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But this is starting to sound a little bit fun. I'm excited. Thanks for listening. We'll keep going.